Yeah, and it's worth noting too, like they did have a lot of switch-ups on the side of GamersOrigin besides that. I mean, now we have Vizichachi on the roster, of course. Very sore. How can we not talk about him? The dude has been around for so very long. And now, it's actually worth noting too, maybe last game had a bit of an effect on them, because we're seeing a lot of picks and bans. Lux is gone, Vex is gone, understandably so. And the TF is seeing a lot of priority here. I mean, it's still a really strong pick overall, especially with the TP changes. Getting any globals you can to get prio, move, and affect other lanes is a must.
It sure does, and now we'll see exactly what else is going to come through. Jax, I'd be surprised if it was picked up maybe this early, but heavy priority. Potentially this champion is coming into the meta a little bit more frequently and is able to kind of take those aggressive matchups, but Leona might be what they settle on. That is going to be the play, so they're already going to set themselves up with a bit of engage, and can't imagine that's an Ahri. I'm sure you would absolutely love to
it's
see
not
it,
real.
right?
It's not real. Don't do this to me. You can't fool me. I know Checolad plays it, I'm pretty sure too, but I don't think that's actually what we're going to see here. I don't even think we're going to see the Zed. You guys can't fool me. I've been doing this too long. The point is, though, yeah, see, Jhin, I believe that. Jhin Leona, really common bot lane, really good in the 2v2. With how much we're talking about how important the 2v2 is, it's not very surprising. And we see that Nami hover. We could easily see the Nami Lucian come in as well, because, again, really strong bot lane, made waves at Worlds, no pun intended, and is likely to do the same here.
Well, let's see. Do they want to pick the Enchanter into the hard engage support? Nope. Quick swap. Going to grab themselves a jungler. I mean, Xin Zhao, not something that we saw in the last game, but still another one of those top-tier junglers that we have seen within the meta.
Right, and I mean, even though we can see the potential rise of AP junglers like Lilia, like Diana, I mean, these guys are still tried and true. Your Xin Zhaos, your Lee Sins, your J4s, and stuff like that. So, of course, trying to dominate that early game play for Jungle Kingdom is something you can absolutely look towards here, and that's what Kareem is trying to do.
And, well, to round it out here in Phase 1, how about a Gwen thrown into the mix? We already saw the hover of the Jax, and now that very well could be the response. We've seen that matchup played a couple of times. That is a potential option. They could also wait on it a little bit. They are hovering a Kali. We have not seen this champion a ton, but does find some success into something like a Twisted Fate.
Yeah, it would have been, but it's looking like, again, we're just getting jukes left, right, and center today with hovers, it looks like. Maybe we haven't been doing this long enough, but Viego is going to come through. Not as much Jungle Kingdom early on, but definitely doesn't have the same issue of falling off that Xin has if he doesn't find any early plays. Luckily, GamersOrigin will have a lot of playmaking potential, especially with that Twisted Fate. So having things that can play at range, like the Jhin, he can tank back a little bit, and have the Leona that can go in on you if you're too close, I think is still good for GameWard.
Absolutely. Now into Phase 2. Gangplank, get it out of here. You know how strong it was in that last game. Obviously getting some buffs and just how useful it could be with that cannon barrage. So we'll get rid of the Gangplank. The response is a lot of pinching on the supports, considering that they've already picked up the Leona here. So they're going to remove the Rakan and remove the Lulu here in Phase 2.
Yeah, especially love the Rakan ban just because, again, long-range engage, something to really go in with the TF and Xin. It would have complemented it really well. So you want to remove these options, as many of them as you can here, and see where both these teams are looking to kind of secure these last couple of picks here. I think, as always, we're going to see GameWard on the red side probably aim towards having top in that last pick, give Melanic the best advantage they can going into this matchup here. But because you also have the Gwen, you can already know.
That's right. Well, let's see exactly what they want to get here. It looks like it's the Corki. We've seen this champion come in. That's probably why the Syndra was banned away. You want to maybe get yourself something like a Corki, and they're thinking ahead of time. Let's just get it for ourselves. Now we switch over, thinking about what they're going to get here into the bot lane. They do have to draft this. Something like a Caitlyn has made it all the way to this point and is very much up for the taking.
Yeah, but it's interesting, too. You think about what's next.
Baby.
Wow, so now you're going to be the one who's excited about it as the Bard ends up coming through. I mean, it's the same philosophy when you think about it. You do have the CC, you do have the range, and I mean, also, I'm going to let you talk about the Bard.
Yeah. The other cast is letting me talk about it. I love you, Beatdown. The Bard, man, I mean, obviously has not seen a ton of play right now within the meta, but I feel like he's got such a creative kit. He's able to find a lot of engages that you're not used to seeing, whether that's setting up some of these magical journeys, whether that's setting up some of these tempered fates. It's also fantastic into something like the Jhin. When he opens up with a curtain call, you immediately deny it with your own ultimate. And I believe Bards comes up a little bit quicker than we see the curtain call as well. So there is a lot of windows that you can roam, set up big plays, attack from different angles you're not used to. And it is just a champion that we have not seen a ton of, but when you practice it, it can be very effective. GamersOrigin up against GameWard. to see who can kick off their season on the right foot. And already nice little level 1 invade into the bot side, seeing if they can catch anyone off guard.
Yeah, and I mean, just getting control of that area. Again, we highlighted at the beginning of Game 1, it is important in this matchup where getting caught out level 1, as we saw, is a big problem for these double-range bot lanes here. So it doesn't hurt to make sure, see if you can catch someone, drop down a ward to make sure level 1 can go your way. But I think NJOA and Smiley, if they were watching, they're going to have their eyes on Camouflage. Like, are you going to flash in?
Yeah, and I mean, Camouflage is, I think, a fantastic pickup. There's a lot of hype around the support after his performance in the Prime League Pro Division, where he went on to win the Winter Cup this past November. So he's coming out, with a massive dub in the offseason, trying to now carry that in with some of the players that he has currently on this roster for the side of GameWard. So we'll see exactly how he's going to be able to set up maybe some of these big plays on Leona. That's what we're going to be looking out for. Both junglers, though, at least off the bat, are going to be starting on opposite sides, and they don't necessarily know where the jungler is starting right now here for the side of GamersOrigin. Yeah,
right. Kareem just goes for the solo start, so no info is going to be nice, and I think it's important, too, in this matchup where, well, Unconventional doesn't want to run into him. Either the Viego at level 3 doesn't want to see them either, but wow, we already have a fight?
Yeah, Zenith Blade start here. I like this, the change up. Camouflage is going to be able to move in. Just going to get a little bit of damage down. Now, once this Caitlyn Bard lane starts to get a little bit more priority and starts to poke you out under your tower, the lane does not become as fun. And we'll see NJWave continue just to try to see if he can find these Cosmic Bindings, set up with the play. And this obviously is going to make Jhin have to play fairly safe here and make sure he never oversteps.
Right. I mean, that's the reason we see Cleanse in the first place here. And so, I mean, Smiley, let's for a second, like he's another player we can look at too on this roster. Another 80 carry, and just like Woolite, who we have to give some credit to. I see you looking at the screen, Austin. I know exactly what it is. Tell us, though.
I'm a little bit mind-blown right now. All right, take a look on the right side of your screen right now and take a look at what Inax has right now on one of his runes. Predator. I don't know if that's just an in-game bug. I mean, this is something, completely unheard of. If you would have told me, NJWave was running, something like a Predator, I would have been like, yeah, okay, I can see it on the Bard. But on the Jhin, are they looking to try and make a lot of roam plays into a pushing bot lane that's going to pretty much have you under tower? I mean, or maybe it was just a misclick on his page.
It's got to be for setting up plays later on because, as you said, you're going to get pushed in most of this game. I doubt, unless we see Akabane after the recall come back after his full clear and make a play in the bot lane because they are going to be pushed up. Besides that, I'm not really sure how that's going to find as much value in the early game. But in time, I can see it having an impact later on. And I mean, as we look at the rest of the map here, Chocolate, as we know, is going to get the push early on as this Corki. And because Kareem's going for that bot Scuttle Crab, there is a play to be made.
We'll go in with the Zenith Blade here. Camouflage just trying to make sure. NJWave is going to be a little bit low, but he's got some nice hot chocolates waiting for him to keep him nice and healthy. Kareem comes in with the Scuttle Crab in the bot side. There was, of course, a trade in the top side, but Akabane does have a bit of tempo on the map. He's the first one to reset. He's already coming back down to this bot side, and this is a perfect timer here for Smiley and NJWave to say, all right, our jungler's going to have to get off of the map, also look for a bit of a reset of himself, so let's just make sure that we're not going to get ganked and just take a safe reset.
Yeah, really well played for them. They get to recall, spend some of that gold, and come back to lane. And I mean, you can see the CS lead already. It's minor, but it is starting to show itself here for Smiley and NJWave. I mean, it's going to continue to grow in this 2v2 isolation. And of course, we're going to see Kareem come through very soon. The dive potential is certainly there, especially if one of those Cosmic Bindings lands. Chaining it with the trap, like you talked about earlier, could do very well here. And top lane, of course, going well for Melanik, as this is a pretty good matchup for Jace earlier on. Gwen, she does struggle against people who do manage to outrange her, people like Lucian top, Gangplank, for example. So as time goes on, as long as Melanik can keep his distance, he's just going to continue running the lane.
Very calm early game, at least thus far. Camellia is going to make a little appearance over to the mid lane, make sure that all the vision is going to stay in control here for GameWard. First DP comes out. Chocolate coming into the mid lane. Going to see Inax here, already looking to bob and weave. He does actually have the Swifties here first, so he can activate that Predator whenever he wants to make some of these roam plays happen, which I am still very curious to see how it ends up playing out. Probably will have to wait before the level 6 before we really see the effectiveness of a Predator on Jhin, but we'll really see how this one comes together. I got my close eye on it here, B-Town.
Yeah, I do as well. It's definitely unconventional, but who knows with how good Predator has become lately. Makes sense that that we're seeing people experiment on a lot of champions, even the ones you would not expect. So now we're getting to the point where level 6s are coming online here, and for some, I think that is a big deal, especially on Gamers Origin side. We talked about the Twisted Fate. Well, Ronaldo has the Destiny ready to go here. If we want to dive on the bottom side of the map, they're going to be able to do so on Gamer Origin side. It's going to be so easy to set up with Ronaldo coming through.
All right, looks like we do have at least a bit of a pause here at this moment, but for as far as what we've seen, at least thus far, there has been no real, aggressive plays. No one's looking to force anything as of just yet. They're just looking to try and get the setups in, and on top of that, our first dragon of the game might be high priority. We'll see exactly. It is going to be a Hextech Drag. It won't be the soul, but there has been at least a bit of an addition of a couple new objectives in, so we'll see just how much control both of these teams are looking to put into that river so that they can prioritize the objective.
I think so far it's probably going to go Gamer Origin's way if they really want to. Zin at level 4 could actually soul the Drake if he so chooses. True. Plus, with bot prio, it's going to be really easy to move up and get the damage done. There's a lot of things adding up too, like Corky, you want to wait for him to scale up. Jin, we saw it. He just has the Swifties. He's going to be moving, but he's not really doing a whole lot of damage yet. Yeah. It's just base stats for the most part that he's working with here. I wouldn't be surprised. You just back it up if you're on the side of GameWard. You're waiting for some time. You're waiting to scale a little bit on a lot of your key picks.
You really are, and I mean, once we get, I think, to a little bit more of the mid portion of the game, that's when we already touched on the fact that, all right, Predator might be a little bit more effective. You push out the mid wave, you can make some options happen to the top lane, to the bot lane. You can set up these curtain calls and angles where you're not necessarily safe just because you're at your tower. So that is something that should be intriguing, absolutely. Akabane in the top lane here now will be able to come away with a Scuttle Crab here for himself, and he's simply going to go back to farming, and I think this is exactly what Akabane is very happy about. When you're this Viego, you want at least a couple of minutes to be able to catch your breath, make sure you're getting closer and closer to your items, and making sure that Xin Zhao is just not pressuring you and not taking too much away from you.
Right, and at the moment, Akabane, in between clearing, does allow Checolate to get the push on the wave, get it under the tower here, and probably force Ronaldo. No, it's a caddy wave, so he'll be able to walk back. Curiously, Akabane does hit level 6. He is going to get a bit of lane XP and get there before Kareem does. So now once you have that Heartbreaker, you can start thinking about making plays. And I mean, look, the invade is coming through just in time for the Gromp spawn. And because Checolate had that priority in the mid lane, he's going to be able to actually snag this blue buff. And I mean, Austin, this is a life hack junglers don't want you to know about. Don't give junglers your blue. That's dumb. Give them the enemy blue.
Junglers hate this quick tip, but it is a little frustrating, I have to imagine, losing out on the blue, but how about a play? Going to be able to land the gold card. Heartbreaker forced out. Akabane has to flash, so summoners are going to be blown while they go for it. Another gold card lands. Do they have enough damage there? Checolate barely staying alive, and Ronaldo also a little too aggressive, does have to flash away to safety.
Well, say what you will about Origin, Austin. They are nothing if not ambitious. They really wanted to make that play work, and I think Ronaldo, my saving grace, what I was going to focus on there was that, okay, at least he holds on to his splash. There's a play to be made later, but even then, it's just a bunch. You basically go 1-for-1 in terms of flashes with each member involved. If anything, actually, because it's 2 versus 3, you use 3 of your flashes. So Gamers Origin can't quite find what they're looking for. And for the first Destiny coming through from Ronaldo, it doesn't get the impact that you might want it to. And we're going to get that much closer to the 14-minute mark where TPs are going to be able to match that ult.
Level 6 is now starting to come through for the junglers. Just saw it. How has his, as he's going to start to clear out the wolves, make his way maybe over to the spot side. Still wondering, whether or not this dragon is going to draw priority from both of these teams or not. But Checolate does have access to this package.
True.
So he has the option to be able to make some roam plays. And of course, no Destiny, no Unleashed TP just yet. So you're not going to be able to make a full-on play. And well, Grim now realizes, oh, I'm on a ward. I thought something was up. I'm just going to head out here and make sure no plays are going to be made on me.
Right, he's going to have to back it up. No one goes for the dragon, but GameWard have set their sights on this early Rift Herald here. Definitely plays to be made if they manage to set up a successful dive on their end. And that could be a way for you to secure a lot of turret plays. Speaking of plays, okay, Bizachachi was in a little bit of trouble there, but he backs it up. But the recontest is here, Austin.
Still no first blood as of just yet between the two. The Rift Herald dance is commencing. 1400 HP.
Oh, here
The
it
Jin
comes.
from behind, setting up the play with the curtain call. The first blood going to be secured here for Checolad. Can they continue? Looking for the re-engage. Inax is hitting a flank on Jin. I've seen it all. And now it's going to be a second, but it's traded back. 2 for 1 so far in favor of GameWard. Inax looks like he's going to be safe and sound. Will be able to walk away. And overall, it's a 2 for 1.
Yeah, okay, positive trade overall, but I believe it was Kareem who ended up securing the Rift Herald here for GamersOrigin. So they managed to turn it around just a little bit and get themselves some potential gold in the coming minutes here. So we're going to see it in the replay. Really nice. Vizichachi managed to make it over the wall, so he makes it so that they can go in here. But the curtain call actually sets it up. That's the go button here for GameWard, and it is what allowed them to make the play and get the kills on top of the Corki package.
Yeah, that caressing guard, not enough. And
Nope.
Inax also finding that 4th shot with a low health target. Spaces perfectly. Make sure the gold card does not find him. And I mean, so far so good, right? That's not necessarily a Predator play where he's running in, but he's already showing us examples of how you can set up with the curtain calls and how you can make it really difficult for the enemy team to react and set up accordingly around some of these objectives. So now we'll finally see first couple kills available. Also, the Rift Herald going to be available here for Karim. Could look at using it here for some of the turret plates, but as we turn our focus to the bot lane, everyone trying to get set up around what could be the first dragon of the game.
Right, maybe even set up for a dive so they can drop the Rift Herald, but as you say, Kareem just going to grab this Scuttle Crab. Maybe he does want to make the dive play here, because getting these early plays, getting that turret down, would be really big for Smiley. Like, we talk about how important it is getting all these turret plays for the Caitlyn, and it does seem to be something GamersOrigin wants to focus on here, but they don't seem to find the angle they're looking for. They're playing a little bit of left and right, Austin. I don't think they're sure what they want to do right now.
Yeah. Not trying to overforce, don't want to give away too much gold over in case the play does end up falling through, but finally we have it. Checolad's going to eat an ace in the hole, just going to lose a little bit of HP. It's going to be 5 members strong. Vizichachi also making his way over. That's going to be the crack with the Rift Herald, but that is a lot of gold spread out through just about everyone, as it's going to be responded with from GameWard, but now they could make a swift rotation if they so wish over to the Dragon or back to the bot lane.
Ooh, yeah, Inax is a little pushed up, but he's going to be able to push that wave. It's not going to fully shove, so he's not going to be able to do anything about it right now. But overall, the gold, like you said, wasn't as big a spike as you might have hoped, especially for Smiley. He does have a CS lead that he's gotten for himself here, something like 10, 11 creeps in his favor, but it's not quite the lead Caitlyn often looks for here, and we can see the playmaking potential that GameWard have when they have that Corki package ready to go. So on GamersOrigin side, I want to see them get a little more aggressive and try and make another play. I mean, we've seen one Destiny so far from Ronaldo.
That's right.
Didn't quite pan out the way we wanted to, but surely there are going to be other angles to make plays elsewhere.
Very well could be. Akabane just coming in, going to grab that blue buff here for himself.
Again.
Smiting it down and, yeah, making sure that Ronaldo is not going to have access to any blues and a good amount of mana here, as well as cooldown reduction. So small wins across the board that have played out here into the top side, and that is really the main reason for the fact that Vizichachi has been stuck under tower, having to farm up, making sure that he is just going to have to survive, as he's mainly been playing weak side, at least up until this point. Checolad, you have to get the wave in. We'll have maybe a bit of priority. Question mark pinging the Dragon. Not sure 100% if they are on it or not, but both teams have opted into a reset. So they're going to come back out, start to ward. Ninja Wave here with his jungler, as they might also decide maybe to move in to this red quadrant.
Yeah, at the moment, I don't think they're spotted out, and this could be a good angle to make a mid lane play onto as well. I think we're at this point where it's Corki has the shield bow. We have these first item spikes starting to come online, and GameWard actually find themselves in a pretty decent position in terms of fighting here. But despite that, GamersOrigin are looking for something, Austin.
Yeah, they're looking for something in the top lane. Destiny coming through, forced to make the play. Melodic looks like he might fall, and he does. Grim grabs the kill, but this could be the response right now from GameWard, as they've been able to get themselves one. That's the shot from the side from Ronaldo. Gets in there with enough to take down another. Vizichachi left out, will end up dropping as well. Both teams going to lose two. Ronaldo will be stunned up there by the Zenith Blade, but forced into the Zanyas. Karim closes the gap, trying to buy time for Ronaldo to do some DPS. Ignite is ticking down. Flash there from Checolad, and he finds it. Another engage from Chameleus, but it's not going to be enough. Checolad will have to back away. So another 1-for-1 here overall, equaling, and I believe what was 3-4-3 across the board.
Right, and that was a good turn coming through from GameWard. And when you think about it, the TP changes don't really apply for turret dives. It's really easy for Checolad to come in the top lane and end up helping turn the play. And you can see it here. Very telegraphed, a lot of time spent, enough time. You can see it in the mini-map too for Checolad to recall, spend a bit of gold, and then TP his way to this fight here. And you can see it come through. It ends up being the Bard who is tanking the turret, and that's usually not very fun.
No. Fairly squishy, but overall, I think a solid read for GameWard. Camouflage was in the right place at the right time.
Right.
Same thing here with the jungler, just making sure that they're in a position where they can respond. And Camouflage, I think, landed like 2, 3, 4 Zenith Blades in a row, locking down targets.
Buffering the stun.
End up losing his life in the end, but doing a good job of just making sure that he is on top of everyone.
Right, and I mean, he does sacrifice his life for it, but overall, I agree with you. Really good play here so far, and I love how back and forth the teams have been made. It was a little slow the first 6 or 7 minutes, but since then, it's been play after play, and this is what I want from GamersOrigin especially. Making plays with that Twisted Fate ultimate, trying to set up these dives. You have the gold card, and I think in future fights, dives like that will look better, because to be fair, Enjoy, he didn't get to use the Tempered Fate, and those can be really useful when it comes to turret dives and making plays.
Absolutely. Deadly Flourish will be sidestepped quite nicely here. Setting up in the mid lane, that mid lane tower fairly low right now for the side of GameWard. You have to be a bit careful, and that means that it's the go button inside of the jungle
nice
right now. Grim will be able to land the W, but won't follow it up. Fighting over the Raptor camp, still just trying to get small wins. Smite came down. Ninja Wave just seeing if he can just be annoying at the moment. We'll drop some vision, but now the startup onto the Rift here might just be a bait, might not be a full commitment, but they are thinking about it. We'll pull it out, and we'll see if they can make the play. But Unleash TP is in. Lonic has to get away, and Ronaldo can't get there in time, so he'll hold on to his life.
Yeah, really nice. He's good of him to be able to run away here. And Melonic overall, he's just been very comfortably farming so far in this game. He did die once to that dive early on and did get some assists, but for the most part, he does have a slight lead overall, and he's getting close to that 2-item spike there. Once the Muramana is completed there, he's going to be doing a lot of damage, both at a distance and up close here. And I think that's going to make it more crucial that GamerOrigin can set up these plays where they can get in close, stun him up, and take him down.
Oh, Tempered Fate. First one comes out, and Axe will be able to shift away there with the Gale Force. And while that happens, Vishichachi has just been hammering away on that mid lane tower. So they're going to be able to grab themselves a turret, open up the map, and now take some resets, spend some of that gold.
And it's important, worth noting too, we're getting to some good item spikes on GamerOrigin side. The first one is big for Gwen. Having that item ready to go means you are going to get a lot more sustain and be able to do a more amount of damage too. So now with the Ignite, she's actually going to be a bit of a danger in the side lane now that we're outside of the laning phase. And Kareem getting the Gourd Drinker, I think that's huge for Zinzao. I think being able to get into these fights, heal up, and just the extra health that it gives you overall, the Omni Vamp is going to be really important. He's going to be a lot tankier. That plus the Crescent Guard, I think, is going to give him the perfect opening to be able to go in.
Absolutely agree, and they're going to need it. Not a ton of engage besides hitting a Tempered Fate, or Vishichachi maybe just flexing his muscles as he gets a little bit later into the game and scales up. But now it will be the Rift Herald started up here for GameWard. Will there be a response right now for the side of GamersOrigin? Vishichachi hanging around, but with the backs coming in at the moment, I don't think they're going to be interested. Instead, want to make a cross-map play. There is a massive wave stacking in the bot lane right now, so it looks like Smiley's going to go and try to push that out for additional pressure.
And it's great, too, because it's going to be extra gold for the AD carry, who you want to really turn it up. But let's hold that thought as the curtains have been opened.
Ooh, nice flash. The package could have also came in there. We'll be able to land the Cosmic Binding. Package might be used now, and there it is. So everyone gets out safe and sound. But another tower will be collected in the mid lane, and now Smiley has met with his team as that wave in the bot lane that was stacking has to be picked up, and they have the chance to be able to get a bit of tempo and a bit of pressure here in their favor.
It is nice. Melanic forced to clear that wave, meaning they get to shove mid, and they get to move up, snag whatever jungle camps they can, and actually move to pressure the top turret as well, because the lane isn't that far past the halfway mark for them. In fact, they might be able to find Akavane or Checolad in the jungle there if they aren't careful. So being able to apply that pressure early on is really nice for them here. As you see, Vishichachi just pushing this top wave out. So far, pretty good map play from GamersOrigin. But now, Melanik, he is threatening that turret. Are they going to commit to him is the question. We have the Destiny ready.
Destiny ready. Tower inevitably was going to go down at some point in time. Ronaldo, will he be able to move in?
Yep.
There's the stun card. Follow it up. Karim is also here to add in the assistance. A
Teleport.
TP comes out. Milanic has been able to at least close the distance, buys time. Checolad putting out the damage, but caressing guard makes sure that Karim will be safe and manages to at least get away here. Ninja Wave has no flash, and he will be absolutely melted and taken down. Following it up here will be Akabane on the Viego. Can't find the Cosmic Binding after going forward with the flash, but now this sets up the Rift Herald play in the bot side.
A little surprise, Melanik ends up overstaying his welcome in the bottom lane, but it ends up leading GamersOrigin into overextending themselves. He manages to flash out, buy time for the TPs to come through, and GamersOrigin end up falling apart here. They thought it was a good rotation, but it ends up working very poorly for them. Getting this tier 2 teams means a lot more gold in GameWard's pockets and just a lot more control over the map, because now they have to back up that much further in their lane.
Yeah, they do. I have to give a lot of credit right now to Melanik at the moment. He's just been dealing with it all. Good TP as well to follow it up, but he's been able to at least make sure that he's always living long enough so that his teammates can get there and impact the fight effectively. But with our second Dragon now up for grabs, both teams going to start to dedicate a little bit more vision control around it. Ninja Wave, with a good read on the resets, will be able to get all of that control down. So we'll see how big of a fight does end up taking place here for it, whether or not they even want to move in to try and contest this one, because GamerWards, well, they have themselves in a position where they could certainly look to take some of these fights. They have about a 3K gold lead now, and they're going to start it up first. Yeah,
I mean, they have the power to be able to do it. 2 items on Corki, 2 items on Melanik. Easy Dragon, and there's the fight.
All right, that's going to be the engage. Setting it up. Jungler going to be down. Vishachachi doing a good amount of damage, but is now starting to lose that cooldown on the W, so we'll have to back away. And Wave is also going to fall. 2 players down, objective secured, and how about a fast track over to the Baron?
That's right. Support jungle taken down means it's going to be easy for them to secure the Baron here, but I like this. Checolad, he waits for someone to walk up, chunks him up real deep, and now he's going to walk over to his team. Actually, it's looking like he's going to be playing a little bit of interference, throwing out those rockets, and now he's going to end up helping here. But they are taking a good amount of damage, so they are going to want to take care of this one really soon. Kareem is back on the map.
Very low at the moment. Have to look for the smite. Vishachachi trying to zone them away inside of the pit. Oh, who's going to get it? It's going to be secured here for Checolad as he has to jump away with the Valkyrie. Milanic going in with some damage. Won't be able to find it. It's a double that comes through there for Smiley. And what a play. But is it done? Checolad has some good damage. Vishachachi will get out with his life. The Baron secured, but only 2 members here have it.
That is a tough one. Checolad not being there originally means they don't manage to do enough damage to take it down as quickly as they may have hoped for. Really smart for GamerOrigin to try and punish that, get some of the kills, dampen the impact of this Baron, but that's going to be coming through here. Now, realistically, you're going to be able to affect 1, maybe 2 lanes with it, considering who's got it, because you want Checolad to probably be in the side lane, and then Chameleus will be in the mid lane. But overall, it's still pretty good. You hold on to your lead if you're GameWard, especially with that extra gold you get from taking Baron. So I still think they're in a pretty solid spot.
7 to 8 in kills right now. Vishachachi just going to start to clear out the wave, but he is scaling. He's getting levels. 23 minutes in, level 14 now, and should be able to maybe even pull off some potential 1v2s here as teams and setups start to come in to the bot side and see if they can deal with him. But he will have the push, does not have TP up, meaning that there is a window to try to utilize this Baron, and that's exactly what they'll do. Tempo in favor of GameWard right now. Already Checolad getting a lot of damage done here in this tier 2 in the top side.
Yeah, no wave means he does have to walk away, but I mean, because of the pressure that they have, they can just continue stealing camps. I don't think Kareem's got a blue buff all game long, Austin. It's just been going over to Akabane and just members of GameWard as a whole. In this case, Checolad, and now he's able to just continue escorting this wave, Baron up the minions while the rest of the team is putting pressure in the mid lane. It's going to be hard. Checolad is hard to get on top of too, so now he's just going to move mid. They're opening up the curtains.
Curtain call comes in. We'll be able to land a couple.
Whoa!
With that one, and Jawave gets taken low. and might have to base so that he can get some of that health bar back intact. But another tower, another objective, all going over. Right now, beats down. Checolat is massive. 242 CS, basically perfect. 3 kills to his name, a massive bounty, and he's got 3 items as well as a BF sword and a cloak in his inventory. He is going to be dishing out DPS.
Yeah, very soon he'll have that Infinity Edge ready to go, and the damage already is just unspeakable coming from GameWard's mid laner here, who's in such a strong position at the moment. GamersOrigin find themselves just falling that much further behind. We talked about how important these 2 item spikes were for GameWard, and they used them effectively, and now they've propelled themselves to this point in the game where GamersOrigin, they have to find a really good fight. They're basically relegated to trying to find these picks in the side lane because they are not in a position to win the 5v5 at the moment.
No, they are not. Mid lane Smiley has also kind of been silently scaling here on the Caitlyn. He's been farming quite well. We have to give him some credit. 3 kills after what was a nice pickup there, the very first fight that we saw around the Rift Herald. And now has access to 3 items himself to be able to match that DPS. But top lane, Ronaldo's been waiting for you to misstep, and there is the misstep. Exhaust comes down, no trade kill available, and a big pickup now in the top side.
These are the side lane plays I'm talking about here. Being able to get this one done is a big deal. You get some shutdown gold, you get some gold in your Gwen's pocket, because she is going to be a big deal. You want her to be that monster in the side lane, and because GameWard have backed off, they've gotten the information from the team. They're going to continue pushing this turret out, push this wave through, and then they're going to recall. But if you look at GameWard, they're setting up a little something, Austin.
Yeah, they sure are. And well, TP's going to come in right away from Ronaldo. He's got his Zanya's completed. That's a big pickup right before this dragon fight. 2 already collected right now for GameWard. But GamersOrigin, they have an opportunity to get their first one. We are now, of course, on the Chemtech map, where we all know how this one can play out. You got to be so much more careful, have to be tracking players that much more. But that is a freebie, no contest whatsoever. Happily will be given up. And now a little ace in the hole there to Inact, just to make sure he's a little bit lower on HP as he defends the tier 2.
There it is. The camouflage along the map. This actually ends up working really well for Bart. They're not going to be able to catch him out. Who knows where Enjaway is going to be able to pop out from.
There's the solar flare. Does land a slow into a couple of members. Curtain call comes out. Karim manages to get out of it. Vishachachi right in the middle of it. Tempered fate will go wide. Gold card connects, but no follow-up is there as Camilius flashes away wisely. But in the end, it will be GamersOrigin that get a tier 2.
And yeah, it is tough. GamersOrigin do get to limp away from this one, but they do get that extra gold in their pocket here. You can see the damage Melanic is doing with these empowered shock blasts and how much of a problem they're going to be. He's at 3 items right now, and if fights like those have to continue, maybe GamersOrigin aren't going to be so lucky here. But managing to get some of these objectives, managing to close this gap. We're from 4K down to about 2, means they're going to be able to find their way back into this one. They still have destiny, still have ways to be able to make these side lane plays onto someone like Melanic if he pushes out too far.
A little over 2,000 right now for GameWard, but has felt like they've been on the back foot, at least the last couple of objective fights. Resets have come out, and now there is the magical journey. Flashing Gauge will hit it with the Cosmic Binding, but does not connect with a stun. Vishachachi wants to move all the way up, but he goes into the stasis, holds on to his life. Camilius as well, but he'll end up dropping, and there's the second. Karim gets there for the kill. 2 members down, and the Baron spawns at the perfect moment.
His timing couldn't be better, and because of the kills now, Activate, he's forced to try and see if he can go for the steal here. He does have a pink in the pit, but overall, the numbers are certainly not in your favor. Inax, though, does have the Predator popped, and it's looking like that will be enough to force GamersOrigin off of it. I think that's a big deal for GameWard. The fact that they managed to force them off. If that Baron goes through, GamersOrigin, all of a sudden, they catch up with gold. They have the ability to pick up even more, get all this lane priority. It would have been bad.
It would have been, absolutely. But now just clearing out some of that vision as we get closer and closer to that 30-minute mark. Still quite a while away from our next dragon. So all of this focus likely going to be around the big purple worm there in that top side. will just do a bit of farming, getting back out on the map. Smiley now coming away with what will be a stopwatch, little pickaxe available, getting closer to that 4th item. You look at all of the spikes coming through, and I mean, this is also the beauty of having, you know, a double 80 carry composition right now. If you are GameWard, is that you will be able to dish out quite a bit of damage here across the board. It's not just one hyper carry. You have 2 members that are going to be able to do a decent amount of DPS, but still a lot of that focus on Checolad. But now opening up with the curtain call, the solar flare will come down, but Vishichachi will make sure that that is nullified. Checolad just trying to get a bit of damage in there with the poke, but won't be able to find a target. Both teams staring each other down, but no kills come through.
Well, can we just take a look at Checolad for a second? This dude has been farming immensely, still now above perfect CS. He's level 17. Miles ahead of everyone else in the game. Pretty soon he'll have a package available too. They might actually be looking for a player. Austin and Nexus pop the Predator.
Waiting for another move. There's the flash engage, and now the ultimate comes out here from Bar. Temper Fate gonna put everyone to the stasis. A lot of damage coming down. Chameleus is going to drop. Vishichachi again to the stopwatch. Make sure that he is A-okay. A pick is good, but can they get anything? Because it was still another 1-for-1.
It's looking like no one can actually go for the Baron, but there's a big wave bot side that GamersOrigin are going to have to answer at some point here, but instead they might be ignoring it as they just want to get priority in this mid lane. Shove it out as much as they can and make sure it's not going to be easy for GameWard to be able to just sneak this Baron here. They're going to have to walk by some sort of vision.
Oh, there's the face check from behind. Ronaldo is here. Checolad, he might go down, but he's dealing so much damage.
Strong.
Finds one, can't get a second. 1-for-1 as it's Smiley now in the front line, trying to just walk the enemy team down of GameWard. It is trades across the board every single time these two scrap. So yet again, both teams only losing 1.
Then they are just keeping it up. These are the Twisted Fate plays I'm wanting to see from GamersOrigin, and now it gives you the opportunity. Ronaldo backs, recalls, Kareem, their jungler is here. They're going to go for the Baron, and this time I don't think they're going to get forced off.
Akabane has a chance to move into the pit with the flash. Ace in the hole comes through. Will be a bit of damage. There's the curtain call, and this might force GamersOrigin off of it, or will they look for re-engage? Ninja Wave is down. Solar Flare comes through, Ronaldo locked up, and now no support around him. Smiley can't re-enter the fight. Mid laner going to drop. Another great setup with the curtain call, and now it's time for GameWard to threaten the Baron for themselves.
And there it is. So much value from that Jhin ultimate, and the fact that GameWard, they keep doing all this damage, applying all this CC. Even the curtain call slows are a big deal. It makes it easier for Camouflage to get on top of GamersOrigin and be able to just full combo them, CC, stun lock them, take your hands off the keyboard. You're not playing the game anymore, stun them, and it makes it so easy to just rip them to shreds. And sure, GamersOrigin, the Constellation will be their second Chemtech Dragon, but the lead again for GameWard has gone up to 4,000.
Oh, they've been stacking this up here over the last little bit now. Being able to do a little bit more damage to champions with more health than you is certainly going to add up, especially for someone like Smiley. Ronaldo as well can set up these plays with that gold card into the Everfrost and allow Smiley to then re-enter the fight if he so wishes. But Checolad level 18, he is still a monster. He went down. I mean, he is full build. He has everything he needs. I mean, he is an absolute beast. Going to be the absolute target you need to take down right now if you are GO. Looking for Ninja Wave maybe to see if he can line that up with an engage. But the push is commencing. They're starting it out in the bot lane. We'll see if they can continue or if they're going to start to shift over here and attack the mid lane.
Smiley doing their best, laying out the traps to make it harder to really siege this turret here. And I mean, at this point, GamersOrigin got to thank their stars that there's no Corki package available at the moment here. Otherwise, a huge dive play could be set up, but maybe it's going anyway.
So much damage already, and Ninja Wave has to use the ultimate, but it's still a kill onto the jungler. You've lost one. You do chunk out Camouflage quite a bit, so he's not really allowed to re-enter the fight, has to reset. But you have tempo, you have pressure, you have the Baron, so you can keep on pushing these waves, and we'll see if they can break open the base.
They have waves. They're slightly missed time, but basically coming at the same time. You have mid, you have bot, and because of the attention put in the mid lane, you get an easy bottom inhibitor here. More bonus gold, super minions coming through the bottom lane, and they can just walk it up to this next turret, and Viz is in trouble.
Oh, Vishichachi just barely gets out there. Ronaldo can't find anything with the Everfrost, continuing to pressure. Inax is there with the auto. Checolad as well. We'll see the buffed up caddy minion hammering away, but they're able to take it down. So this tower hanging on by a thread. Bit of false security, if you will. Smiley able to read that with the 90 caliber net quite well, kiting it out, dealing good damage. Akabane forced away. They do find the tower now. Checolad,
now he has the package.
He's here with that package. Smiley
He's
is
going
so low. Checolad goes all in. He finds the kill on a Smiley, but it's at the cost of his life. Both teams losing a key influential carry, but the numbers looking good for GameWard up until this point. Here's the TP. Vijachachi, this is his time to shine as he deals all the DPS in the front line. Camelius is down. Vijachachi is still very healthy. The stun card lands. Inex got no emotes for us in that one, and that is a triple kill for Vijachachi.
Oh, Checolad, he goes in a little too deep. Almost goes 2 for 1, but ultimately it allows GamerOrigin to come back in this one. The teleport from Fizz, the TP from Ronaldo means he was able to get it done, and I have a feeling they might lose another one, but Melanic will get to walk away. Overall, huge necessary fight from GamersOrigin. It will give them a couple minutes, allow them to shove this mid wave all the way to tier 3.
Oh, we take a look at this play once again, and it's Akabane forced into that stasis, but the big TP coming through, and Checolad thinking that he can make the game-ending play.
Yeah, he goes for it. You see the damage, so he decides to commit. Package out, Valkyrie out. So he's in there, Austin, and no stopwatch to speak of. Even though he almost secures 2, maybe even 3 kills, it does give them the confidence to continue going for the turret. The problem is, Vizichachi TPs. This Gwen is level 18, scaled up, and ready to fight. Look at Camelius' health disappear. It just makes it so easy for Ronaldo to chase, to use Destiny, even though he didn't need to. Still a successful play.
Getting into the late game. Look at all the items, still full build here now for the 80 carry Smiley, full build for Checolad. Good damage there with the Shock Blast, going to be able to chunk out the jungler here a bit on the side of GamersOrigin. And just going to take control of the Chemtech. And this is really what we talk about when we have this camouflage, in the jungle. You fall behind, it becomes very difficult to face check. You have to push through your lanes, your beatdown, in order to regain any real map control.
And I think to be fair too, it is hard to control it even as the owner of that side of the jungle because there aren't bushes. And what does that mean? You can see GamerOrigin actually set themselves up there. They want to make a play in the mid lane, Austin. They are TPing. This could be their 3rd dragon.
Could be the 3rd dragon, or could also maybe be the last fight of the game. Who can get on each other's carries? Looking at the engagers, looking at more or less Vijachachi here for the side of Geo to see if he can continue to pressure like he's been doing, but the fast track through mid, GameWard, they're just going to take the wave, but the curtain call coming through in the back. This is going to stop any kind of an engage, and now the tempo no longer in their favor. GameWard have gotten away with a free inhibitor.
Okay, this is really unfortunate, especially with Baron coming up. The wave is pushed, and the next one will contain Super. Still, though, this isn't over for GamersOrigin. They can hold on for the next 5 minutes. Austin, look at that. They've gotten 3 dragons in a row, and if they manage to secure that Chemtech Soul that will basically give everyone a Scion passive, there is certainly a way back into this game here. You can see it. The items are coming through. We're getting to this point where the gold lead isn't as important anymore. The key damage carries are all at the 4-5 item mark, and they're about at their peaks here. It's going to be about execution.
Vijachachi will be a-okay. Thought for a second maybe. GameWard wanted to pull the trigger. Not going to happen as of just yet. Karim also here with this team. Looking for him to set up the engage if they decide to go, and Jawave as well here for the side of GamersOrigin. Into the mid wave again. It feels like we've been A-ramming for quite a bit of time.
Right.
But you have to worry about that bot lane, and look who's going. Ronaldo does have the Destiny if he needs to make a cross-map rotation, but is going to be stuck down there here for the time being.
We'll have to see. Still supers coming in the mid wave. We have the Destiny coming through. I think it was just for some information and so that Ronaldo can join the fray, but the Temper Fate goes in.
Yeah, Camelius now re-engaging.
So
that will be a massive ultimate, but it's blocked up, and they'll just delete Camelius as he's left all alone. First kill is good. That's a long death timer at 40 seconds. Tempo now shifting over. GamersOrigin, they have the Baron. There is a TP. Melodic, will he have it? Could he move for a backdoor? It looks like resets are coming through. He's questioning whether or not I should go, but this does split them up a little bit. Akabane also looking for a window in. but won't be able to find it.
They know the recall can't be stopped. Vijachachi would win the 1v1, so he just opts to back off. But the threat is so very important because in this 4v5 scenario, GamersOrigin could have looked to potentially move for the end here. So they managed to buy themselves some time. We're here. This 39-minute mark, Austin, we got a long one here ahead of us as GamersOrigin trying to fight through these supers, trying to get some semblance of push in the mid lane. Now, the only thing they have to set their sights on is the Baron. We're still 3 minutes away from any Dragon.
Package here for Checolad if he wants to make a play. But the Baron, it is going to be completely warded up in control right now for GamersOrigin. It's a matter of can they really get anything off of this. They have to still deal with all these super minions that have just been pouring into their base. Mid lane will be dealt with. They'll get a bit more of that priority now back in their favor. Thinking about pings going down, and you know things are on a knife's edge right now, Beatdown. One mistake could cost you the game. Both teams looking for that mistake, looking for that catch. Wave does have to be careful as he dances around with all his meeks here, all the penguins here for the ride. And now Vijachachi, he's got a lot of pressure. And who's going to respond to him because he is on the inhibitor tower.
And he has teleport. He can just TP away if he's truly in any danger. It's going to be an easy tower as GamersOrigin set themselves up for this Baron pit. It's worth noting Checolad used the package. I think it was about to expire, so that playmaking tool is not available. We're starting to see how difficult it is for Camouflage to stay alive in these fights, despite being that Leona with almost 2 items. It is so tanky, but I think he's going to walk away, but they're looking for something.
Oh, they are. Here's the re-engage. Curtain Call comes out. TP's coming through, but the Magical Journey is going to be able to close the distance to make sure that Curtain Call does not hit the mark any longer. But you get a big cooldown out now from Checolad.
Yep.
And Vijachachi still has his TP. He's been happily farming away, and he can continue to go back to this top lane, or this bot lane, rather.
Yeah, he can just continue it up, and now Kareem is going there with the help of the rest of the team. They're moving up to take care of this, and Checolad has to respond in the bottom lane. They're not going to be able to move as 5. If a fight breaks out, Vijachachi can be there instantaneously, but I like this. He's actually waiting, trying to bide his time to see if they actually show up, and now he's going for the 1v1.
All right, Vijachachi might have to pull off a little 1v2,
What?
but look at the
that
damage
was just
right now.
needlework.
Oh, Checolad. Oh, but they're just going
big.
to see if he can maybe get out. The Solar Flare
Oh,
comes
it's
down,
good.
stops it. Is there a chance at an outplay? The healing is there. The Ignite is down. It's going to stop some of it. But he is just going to buy a bit more time. Ultimately should end up dropping. And there it is. They're going to give that kill over. Inax will happily grab that one here. But the Baron was, of course, the trade here for the side of Geo.
Yeah, now it's an interesting position. GamersOrigin, they want to get this next Dragon. It's going to be their soul. But maybe you have Ronaldo on the top side of the map. So he's just going to push out top with the Baron empowered minions and try to push out mid with the rest of his team. I think you let this Dragon go because you, even with Baron, you're still in a bad position numbers-wise, and you're 30 seconds away from Vijachachi ever joining anything.
Melanik just going to take away some camps, pushing in the bot wave right now. 42 minutes into this game, and we might have a Dragon taken here for GameWard, and it will be secured. So now both teams on soul point. If we end up seeing that next Dragon in 5 minutes, we'll likely see a fight over it. But this Baron, it is still active, but not a whole lot has been able to get done simply because of that pick there on Vijachachi here, Beatdown. So now that he is back up, now that he is available on the map to start pressuring, this is where you need to start to chip away at some towers, grab all of this additional gold, see if you can break open the base, and it looks like they're kicking it off here in the mid lane.
Now we're seeing them push things out. Kareem and Smiley just sitting in the mid lane, not really sure where everybody else is at the moment, but you can see it. Contention over this top side of the map is what they're playing for here. But with the Predator out, the thing is, GameWard, they can start fights from a distance however they want to. The Curtain Call has been so impactful from Inax. Melanik does so much damage with those empowered shock blasts. And I think pretty soon, Checolad's probably going to have another package ready to go here.
Ronaldo having the Destiny can enter the fight in case they're able to split up some of the members, but just about everyone having TPs besides Checolad right now and Vijachachi. Wow. This has been such a drawn-out game here for us, Beatdown, where no one wants to misstep, but no one's trying to make any kind of a proactive play besides the odd Curtain Call that we see. But It's usually always nullified with this magical journey that just gets them out of reach from any of the shots really connecting. So the towers hanging on. The Baron, of course, getting ready to expire fairly soon. You can see it top right. It's only been 900 gold overall for as far as the bonus here. And now with 7 seconds left, they're not going to have access to it for a whole lot longer.
Yeah, and I think the play could be opening up here. Nobody is close enough to actually move in and should be able to magical journey away. Now they can just hang out in fog. That's the thing here, Austin, as nothing is really there to fight for. We're just so late in the game that if you find a good team fight angle, you just full send it because that's just how you win it out here. So they're just pushing waves, trying to get control, and they're actually full committing to this turret.
Oh, they are. They take the magical journey. They get here in time, and not everyone from GameWard can defend. So the first inhibitor of the game finally taken at 44.5 minutes right now for GamersOrigin. Akabane, could he find a window into the fight?
No curtain call.
He's searching, but won't be able to get there in time. And now it looks like the side of GamersOrigin will simply back away. That is a big inhibitor to get. 2.5 minutes away from this Elder. 2 minutes away from another Baron. But the slow chase is here for GameWard, and that's going to allow them to at least regain some of this control around their jungle and the river.
Right, you can see it. Both bot and top in favor of GamerOrigin being pushed out very far. And we're just ARAMing no matter what lane. I think they're just going in.
Destiny's coming through. Camouflage is the target. He's
There's
taken very low, and Vishachachi finds the kill. Support is down for GameWard. Can they find another window in? Karim forced into stasis. Vishachachi steps up with a tempered fate. Has found Checolad. He has to flash away, and he's safe for now. Inax will be able to deal a good amount of damage here as he's got all the movement speed, but he eats a good headshot there from Smiley. That chunks him out. That stops him from continuing, and now they have to back. They have to TP. Vishachachi could get here to stop all of them, but won't continue to do so. And now we take a look at the base. Will they go or will they back up? It looks like they're not going to force it.
Yeah, there isn't enough HP in their health bars to be able to actually commit to this one. But man, Austin, we're at 80 gold apiece here as Ronaldo is forced to TP to hold on and protect the inhibitor. We are at a knife's edge at this point. Both of these teams testing, just basically giving each other jabs, just trying to see how they're going to react, even this late in the game. And then soon, when they find an opening and find the kill, we're just waiting for that one fight. It's inevitable.
It is inevitable. Absolutely it is. I mean, I don't even know if a full ace has even come through once in this game. It always feels like any of the fights that we had, were 2 for 2s, 3 for 3s, 1 for 1s. No one really fully committing to seeing if they could bring home a full wipe, a full ace. And you can only get so strong. It feels like Checolad has been full build for the last 15 minutes of this game. Smiley, you could say the same, as he's now also held on to this GA the entire time. I don't think it's been popped once, but everyone reaching that full build, full potential of their champions. 18 also for the majority of the players in this game. Support's lacking behind a little bit as well as junglers, but TP in the mid lane. Checolad does have access to that package if they want to set something up. And Joave also here for any kind of a tempered fate. But here is the soul. Both teams want to get this one. We know how important it is with the Chemtech Soul. Having that zombie passive is just so influential, but it's being bursted down. 4,500, 2K going in. It's going to be secured from Akabane, but on the side, Camouflage has eaten quite a bit of damage, but now that that passive is active with the Chemtech, it is going to make things even more difficult to win team fights. Camouflage goes back in with the re-engage. Can they lock it down? Vishachachi in some trouble. Inax has found the kill, and now they dive in for Smiley and Karim. They have taken down 3. This is the moment we were waiting for. Finally, GameWard pull the trigger, find the numbers advantage, and they're going to set up the push in the mid lane.
60-second spawn timers, Austin. This is it. Zombie passive good to go. GameWard finally make it happen. Somebody recalls to try and catch that bottom wave so it doesn't do any real damage, but at this point, we're still at 40 seconds. We're TPing in. GameWard are taking the game.
They want to end it. Smiley and Karim would have to pull off a miracle. Karim does not have access to the Caressing Guard, and now Smiley's under fire, trying to flash back and kite, but he's popped into that Guardian Angel, and he's now lost his jungler, and he'll lose his life as well. There it is. How about a 48-minute banger here for game number 2 for the LFL day 1, but in the end, getting it done, coming so close to it.